How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Sorry that I'm a little bit late. We're not running our normal show as usual. Ashley just had a major surgery Friday. Didn't even realize it was 5 p.m. So we're going to dive into this training. I want to make sure this is going live. If you can, go ahead and comment where you're from. And I'm going to get things moving in just a hot second. So got Ohio in the house. Let me get my other stuff going. In today's conversation, go ahead and pull it up. I don't have my presentation, so it's just going to be me talking. It'll be very boring today. I just found out Ashley also has COVID while she's recovering. I have possible COVID. Don't worry, I'm fine. I take care of myself, but it's harder for her since obviously she just got out of major surgery less than a week ago, so it's more concerning for that. But today's conversation is how to build a successful personal brand in 2021 with social media strategy. So I'm going to dive into that in just a hot second. I actually have my notes. What I will do is if you are registered and you guys want this afterwards, I will actually send you guys these notes. I may actually post them in there shortly. Let me find it. Don't worry, we'll find it. How's everybody else doing? Where the heck did I put it? Oh, I got my outline over here. All right, guys. Sorry, bear with me real quick. Hey, let me get my dogs out here. Come on. You guys need to go away. All right. So let's talk about personal branding, especially in 2021. You know, when you guys think of personal branding, what do you guys think of? Like, what are the first things that come to your mind? Let's start off with that. Personal. 2021. What are you guys saying? Let's go ahead and pop this open. Who you are is great. Julie says she's recovering from a bug too. Awesome. So we're going to get this moving. Yeah, personal branding. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you guys some very quick overview and tips. Again, I hate running late, and then I also hate that it's not prepared as much as it should be. It's been a very long half a week. So, all right, I'm going to dive into some of these notes that I have. I have the outline at least. So when it comes down to marketing your brand and building that up, that's one of the biggest things. People are very afraid to have a personal brand. They like hiding behind a company, right? And they hide behind that in the essence that they don't want to put themselves out there too much. And I can completely understand the necessity of that, where they want to kind of be away from the public eye and quiet and not necessarily diving into it. But again, if people don't know who you are, what company you have, or the products and services you have, they don't know you exist. They're not ever going to be able to reach out to you. So if you guys go ahead and drop your industries, whatever industry you're in, let me make sure I got this. Okay. We can see that. But if people don't know that you have a company that sells life insurance or does financial services, they can never reach out to you. That's one of the biggest things when it comes down to a personal brand. People are typically lacking on, and they miss that, especially with social media, is that if you are not actually getting out there more and you're not putting yourself out there in a more consistent way, people will not know to reach out to you. They don't know what you do, how you help people, what problems you solve. So you have to think about all the successful people you know, and think about the ones that are putting themselves out there. I know Andy Purcell is a huge one. Ed Milet's a big one. And when you start thinking about these prime examples of personal marketing, like, they don't market their business, they market themselves, and you know what business they do or what they have, right? Because through the content and being a part of their audience, and if it's someone that you like, all this other stuff. They're seeing that, or you're seeing that content, and then you turn around and you follow more of their company, right? I know Ed has a few different companies. Andy has, he's a, obviously First Form's a big one. So if you market yourself, business will follow. And it's one of the things I wrote, one of the quotes I have is that these people, Andy and Ed, they do not market themselves to get business, but they get more business because they market themselves. And that's such a great note and nugget. So if you guys want to take that. So let's talk about a couple different topics. 3 problems people have when it comes down to marketing sales. People will typically feel selfish whenever they start talking about themselves or their success, or if you're like me, I like lack of success whenever I have problems, or my business isn't working, or if I had something go wrong. Talking about your problems, talking about the great successes, we tend to think that we're going to seem selfish, and that's not always the case. It's always the case if you're flaunting consistently and you're not actually providing value or helping. But when it comes down to the type of person you are, you should be putting yourself out there and not be worried too much about feeling selfish when it comes down to talking about yourself, your business, and what you're doing to help families. The next thing is that people are afraid that others will think negatively about them. Whenever I talk to people, and if that's you, just say that's me, right? If you're kind of worried about the negative comments, it's one of the biggest concerns I tend to get from people, is that they're worried that someone will have a negative comment, or they have had a negative comment before, and they're like, oh my God, what if everyone else does that? So if that's you, and I've seen some memes pop up. But when you start thinking about posting or having this type of content conversation, you're worried about what other people will say, then they're never going to know what you do. Again, you're stopping your business because that small percentage of people who may be negative. And if you're actually smart, if you actually are conscious about what you're doing, any negative comments, negative reviews, or negative anything that you encounter are great opportunities for you to turn it around and flip the script on a prospect and actually have that you can, maybe it's not going to convert that prospect, but if someone else sees how you handle negative criticism or negative comments about something, you're like, oh, well, they actually handled that pretty professionally. It makes sense. Their comment reply to that makes a lot more sense than this negative ass person. You may actually gain other potential clients because of that. So make sure that if you're afraid of it, that fear just comes from lack of preparedness. You're not prepared if someone turns around and comments something negatively. You don't have a good answer to that or a good reply to it just yet. So think about all the negative things you may get and have replies ready for them. And that's a great way for you to be strategic on your comments and your posts. So if you're with me, still say value in the comments. Love to see that. Next, people are worried about branding themselves because they don't know what to post. They don't know what to put out there. And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit more about the concepts I talked about before. But if you've never seen them, it's the first time you're hearing them, this is some of the great things you learn about what to post. But I'll talk a little bit more about that. But that is a typical reason why people don't brand themselves. They don't know what to post. They're fearful what people may say or think. And they're really just kind of stuck on feeling selfish and not getting it out there. So, and if that is you, don't worry, you're not alone. There's a top 3 reasons, and that's why I talk about them the most. Next, let's talk about positive outcomes. So those are kind of negative outcomes that you may have in your head when it comes down to marketing yourself. Now, some of the positive things you may have is people's obviously, they're going to see you and people will actually trust you more because you're putting themselves out there. The number one fear for people is public speaking. And doing trainings or doing lives like this is essentially a version of public speaking, and people will respect you more if you actually put yourself out there. So again, they're going to see you're human. A lot of people like, I'm afraid of messing up. Like today is a perfect example. I don't have my setup downstairs done. I didn't, get anything really massively prepared. It's just been a super big struggle. But what I'm doing is I'm being consistent. So it shows I'm human. I'm not perfect. I don't have everything always done and good to go. So again, being human creates more trust, right? So if you want to be trustworthy, more type trust in the comments. Next, transparency is expected of companies and people. That's a huge one that a lot of people want to know who they're dealing with. And transparency, like I said, is obviously a lot more expected in today's society. They want to be transparent about the good, the bad, the ugly, who's running the company, how you're making things happen, and it's key. And if you are more transparent, as well as my next thing is authentic, like I'm being pretty authentic because it's just how I am. And if you're more authentic, people will trust you more. They'll like you more. They'll respect you more. Authenticity plus empathy plus authority means you have likability. So if you are worried about people liking you, you have to be authentic, empathetic, and authoritative. And authoritative doesn't mean you're ruling with an iron fist. It just means, hey, that's the authority in financial services, in marketing, in whatever career field. So start thinking about that more. Now, how do you market yourself? You have to have a strategy. Blind marketing gets you nowhere. Again, I've said this all the time. One of my favorite quotes I've ever heard: if you market to everybody, you market to nobody. So if you don't have a strategy when it comes down to your marketing, it's not really going to get you anywhere. And this is one thing that people are like, oh my God, how do I figure it out? It's testing. Testing is one of the biggest things when it comes to your marketing, of knowing how to be better. What gets more reactions? What gets more comments? Like, I love engagement content. I'm running ads for a client of mine right now, and I'm seeing what's working and what's not working and making the tweaks for it so we can get more clients, more leads coming in. What do you want to be known for? That's another great strategy. Is when people think of you, what do you want to be known and remembered for? Do you want to be known and remembered for the person who just shares political bullshit all the time? Are you the person who wants to be known or remembered that you're sharing just straight garbage? Like, what kind of content do you want to be known for? And like I said, there's a strategy at the end of this I'm going to give you guys that you can follow that will get people to see you as a human, as the authoritative, and build empathy, right? That's what we want to focus on. What do you want people to get from you? Whenever they look on your content, what are the things with your personal brand or you or your company? What do you want to get? Do you want them to get value, or do you want them to always see call to actions and always sales pitches, right? Which do you think is better? And let's go ahead and you guys can type that in the comments and see what you guys think. Whew. Value, of course, right? We're seeing that in a few different things. I'm streaming on Facebook as well as in the group. But again, do not just make constant call to actions. Focus on providing value. So think of the value propositions that you can provide inside of your trainings or inside of your Facebook Lives in a very short and effective manner that people will get more value whenever they watch or read your content. Number 4, what type of content should you create? Let's talk a little bit about that. My favorite strategy, as some of you guys know, is the 5 F's and 5-5-30. And 5 F's focus on faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun. When it comes down to faith, that's like motivation, inspiration, just something that inspires people to get them going. Then faith, family is obviously, I post that a couple times a week, but something with family or like your dogs, your kids, if you have them, doing those types of things. When you start posting that, I know some people are like, well, I don't want to put my family out there too much. Again, if you're using social media to market yourself and grow your business, you're going to have to be a little bit more authentic and a little bit more transparent. So you don't have to put like where they go to school, any personal identifying information. You don't have to do any of that shit. But having something that shows that you're a family person or that you're doing something with friends, if maybe you don't have family yet, just being a human being is a great way for that. So faith, family, fitness. I post a couple times a week. Again, this is not an everyday thing. Family and fitness are not every day. But when I talk about fitness, I'll ask simple questions, maybe a simple motivational thing for working out, workout videos, something like that. People like doing business with people who take care of themselves physically. So fitness, it can be just something as like taking a picture, taking a walk, or asking questions. It doesn't have to be massively hard. Finance doesn't necessarily have to be, a financial post or anything like that. It's whatever finances your business. So that's where you're creating a post that is focused on what makes my business money. And that's where you're going to do 4 out of 5 posts or value propositions. If you're in financial services, you need to go and provide some value about financial services, debt, budgeting tips, life insurance, those aspects. When you start providing value, what you do, that's when people will turn around and say, hey, that's the person who I want to go to for financial services. And fun is I like posting dad jokes periodically to keep engagement going when it comes down to reactions. If you're going out having fun, doing some stuff with your family, because sometimes fun, family, or fitness and fun are very intertwined, and it's okay to post that stuff. So when you have 4 out of 5 of your posts, if you're posting 3 to 5 times a day, and that's why my next strategy is 5-5-30, 3 to 5 posts a day, 5 meaningful comments, and 30 meaningful likes or reactions, right? When you have a strategy where you're posting 3 to 5 times a day, and most of it is about providing value and showing you're human, that creates that likability factor where people will turn around and come back and want to actually say, hey, that's someone I want to follow. That's someone's content I like, and I want to be around them more. So last thing is to keep this at about 20 minutes or so is repurpose content. It's so vital. Repurposing your content is important. Like taking this video, I'll take this one video. I could extract audio, put it in a podcast. I can take clips, make individual clips. I can have my marketing team that creates my content for me I can give them ideas from the video. They can watch the video and pull content quotes and create specific content you guys see on my page. You can take this video, blast it on YouTube and put it on there. You can take it and take the transcript and make it into a blog. Repurposing content is one of the greatest ways for you to not be spinning your wheels all the time. And a couple places to go get additional content for our content ideas. I talk about this too. Is answerthepublic.com. Go check that out. Type in, something specific about your niche. So financial services can be debt reduction, some of that. And you can see ideas what people are searching for. When you create concept and content that people are searching for, it's going to provide more value to people, because you can guarantee on your friends list or your business page, people are going to actually be looking for the content that you have. So anyways, guys, that's my training for today. Again, apologize for being a little bit late. If you got value from it, go ahead and drop value or drop the fire emoji. And always make sure you guys are in the marketing and sales training group, and jumping inside of there so we can continuously provide some more value coming up. Again, it's been a very crazy couple days. I appreciate you guys' thoughts, prayers last week. We just got to continue to get through this shit together. So, but other than that, guys, hopefully y'all have a phenomenal week, and I look forward to chat with y'all next week. Have a good one, guys.